Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Senate lawmakers are beginning to draft the most significant federal legislation to address gun violence in nearly 30 years. President Biden has indicated he will sign the bill if it reaches his desk. CBS's Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
Senate lawmakers are putting pen to paper on a landmark bill to curb gun violence plaguing the country.
I will put this bill on the floor as soon as possible, once the text of the final agreement is finalized, so the Senate can act quickly to make gun safety reform a reality.
A bipartisan group of senators announced a framework agreement Sunday, which would provide financial support for states to create or administer red flag laws that would temporarily remove guns from individuals deemed to be a threat.
This bill doesn't do everything, but it is substantial. It is significant. It will save lives.
The deal also expands investments in mental health and school safety and enhances background checks for gun buyers under 21. At least 10 Senate Republicans have already signed on to the proposal, increasing the likelihood of it passing before the July 4th holiday recess.
There's a lot of confidence that we can get this across the finish line, but obviously the devil will be in the details.
On Monday, the Justice Department indicted an alleged gun trafficker in Texas and urged Congress to do its part.
As our agents and prosecutors work to get crime guns out of our communities, we are also committed to doing everything we can to support the bipartisan gun safety negotiations that are taking place in Congress as we speak.
President Biden has signaled he would sign the legislation if it reaches his desk, but would like to see more done. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The National Rifle Association has warned the group will continue to oppose any effort to insert gun control policies that deprive law-abiding citizens of their fundamental right to protect themselves. A new form of birth control for men could be on the way. A contraceptive development program finds 2 experimental pills are effective at suppressing testosterone, which lowers sperm count. Researchers say the drugs do not appear to cause unacceptable side effects.
Well, we have already broken records for record highs today in Jackson and in London. It's the hottest June 13th in 22 years, and we've got even hotter weather on the way heading into later this week. A heat advisory doesn't technically take effect until tomorrow, but let's go ahead and just assume it's in effect now, and it runs through our Wednesday night. Excessive heat watch for our northeastern counties. Those will likely get upgraded to either a heat advisory or an excessive heat warning over the next little bit. Temperatures have come down very little over the last little bit, but still low to mid 90s. Warm spots at the moment. Jacksboro's at 95. It's 94 Monticello. And in Manchester, factor in dew points that are in the 70s to near 80. And we've got heat indices well above 100 degrees out there. How about Prestonsburg and Wayne checking in with heat indices at 106, and Ashland feels like 110. It's mostly a clean sweep around the mountains, just a few pop-up downpours in the Big Sandy, but keeping an eye on this area of showers and thunderstorms bearing down on Cincinnati. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect there, and that cluster of storms could try to interact with our northern counties later on tonight. It's something we'll watch, but for the most part, just dry and hot, mid-70s outside with, again, maybe those storms in our northern counties. I've got the latest on how much hotter we get coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. British police say actor Kevin Spacey is expected to appear in court in London this week after he was charged with sexual offenses against 3 men. Spacey is accused of 4 counts of sexual assault and 1 count of causing a person to engage in penetrative sexual activity without consent. He's due to appear at London's Westminster Magistrates Court on Thursday. The Crown Prosecution Service authorized charges against Spacey last month. He was questioned by British police in 2019 about claims by several men that he had assaulted them. The U.S. Supreme Court is letting a Texas inmate's death sentence stand. In 2008, Terrence Andrus shot and killed a car owner and a bystander during an unsuccessful carjacking and was convicted of capital murder. New lawyers for Andrus said his trial counsel was ineffective for not investigating or presenting mitigating evidence. Disgraced attorney Michael Avenatti has told a judge he intends to plead guilty to stealing $5 million from his clients. The former attorney for porn star Stormy Daniels is facing multiple counts in California for embezzlement and fraud charges. He was already facing a 4-year prison sentence for stealing nearly $300,000 from Stormy Daniels. Avenatti admitted he's been unable to reach a plea deal with prosecutors despite making efforts to do so. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol assault kicked off the first of 3 hearings scheduled for this week. Testimony included deposition video from former Trump campaign manager Bill Stepien, who was not able to testify in person. Multiple taped interviews showed the former president's closest aides told him he had lost the election, yet the now former president continued to make false claims of election fraud.
I thought, boy, if he really believes this stuff, he has, lost contact with, he's become detached from reality.
I didn't think what was happening was necessarily honest or professional at that point in time. So that led to me stepping away.
The committee has 2 more planned public hearings this week. CBS News has confirmed Wednesday's hearing will focus on the former president's efforts to replace Justice Department officials, while Thursday's hearing will lay out evidence regarding efforts to pressure former Vice President Mike Pence. The WNBA's Phoenix Mercury hopes to find out more information about WNBA team member Brittany Griner. Head coach Vanessa Nygaard said the organization would be briefed by the State Department Monday. Federal officials confirmed Griner is being wrongfully detained in Russia last month. She was accused of drug smuggling by Russian authorities for having a vape device in her luggage and could face up to 10 years in prison. Nygaard told reporters Sunday she hopes the meeting with the State Department will show that progress is being made in helping get Griner back to the U.S. 2 days ago, Thomas Higgins from Alabama was killed in Carter County when he hit a deer on I-64. Motorcyclists tell us deer versus motorcycle accidents happen more than you think. Chad Hedrick and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw have more on what motorcyclists can do to avoid deer collisions.
It happens so fast. It's just like boom.
Michelle Fisher describes the time she and her husband James were hit by a deer while riding their motorcycle on New Circle Road between Alumni Drive and Tate's Creek.
We had to hit the deer to be able to stay on the motorcycle. There was no way to get around it.
James was operating the 2012 Harley-Davidson Street Glide when the 120-pound deer slammed into the bike.
We realized James lost his shoe, but to him, within the accident, it felt like he lost his foot. You can see where it hit on the side of the frame.
It's been a month since the crash, and James still has issues with his leg. Brandon Townsend is a sales manager at Harley-Davidson. He says deer versus motorcyclists are
more common than you might expect.
He says the Harley-Davidson shop in Hamburg has worked on 3 of these accidents this year. October and November is deer mating season, and it could get worse.
Summertime, if you're out night riding, I would definitely keep your eyes open, watch your speed, and just be prepared for the worst at all times when you're on a motorcycle.
It's a topic that hits close to home. Townsend says a deer hit his mother while she was operating a motorcycle.
The deer wasn't even in the road, is what she said, and it charged at her.
She was okay. As for the Fishers, their motorcycle is gone.
We had to total it, unfortunately. Yes, we won't be getting the bike back.
But there are more important things in life.
We were thankful to come out of it almost injury-free.
In Lexington, Chad Hedrick, WKYT.
Michelle Fisher says she'll probably ride again, but the accident will have her think twice before hopping on. Brandon Townsend of Harley-Davidson says motorcyclists should always look left and right for anything that's in your blind spot. Well, these high temperatures can be extremely costly when it comes to your car, but there are steps you can take today to save you a lot of money and time. The priciest repairs involve battery issues. Officials with AAA say the rising temperatures combined with the even higher temperatures under the hood can kill a battery in hours. They say the best thing you can do is have your battery properly checked for potential issues.
It's a buildup of kind of a blue substance or a green substance. That's actually corrosion from the battery, and it would be a really good idea to get that cleaned off.
The National Weather Service also has a reminder for folks during the heat this week. The inside of your car heats up very quickly, even in the shade, so it's vitally important not to leave your children, pets, or the elderly in a hot car. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, you may know the make and the model you want, but what about the interest rate for your next car? Why experts say getting pre-approval is the best route for a new ride.
Plus, the hot weather, we've got that covered. But could storms move back into the region as well? The latest on the potential turn of rain chances coming up.